Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse. You're on the Bible Forum. I want to talk to you about a new book that our friend Dinesh D'Souza has just come out with. Maybe you've seen it being advertised somewhere along the way. It's called The Big Lie. Subtitle, Exposing the Nazi Roots of the American Left. In this book, and D'Souza is a Christian, he's a philosopher. He's a smart guy. In this book, he challenges the conventional wisdom that the ideologies behind Mussolini and Hitler belong completely on the right side of the spectrum. D'Souza believes that today's collaboration between a political party, the media, the entertainment world, and academia is very similar to the Nazis' effort to bring a whole society in line with their ideology, which they called Gleichschaltung or something of that nature. I'm not German. It's a German word for the word coordination. Got to coordinate the whole culture. In an interview with WorldNet Daily, D'Souza said the battle between left and right that has so severely divided this nation is really rooted in spiritual warfare. And he emphasized the importance of terminology when the left begins to push against Donald Trump, when they resist him. Listen to how they do it. Listen to the words they use. He calls it fascist rhetoric. And he says this is the basis for the action of the mainstream and of the left in the Democrat Party. And he says that's why I think it's really important to blow it out of the water. Now, D'Souza noted the term fascism, as he says, bears the odor of the Holocaust, the gas chambers, Dachau, Auschwitz. And so, we think of whatever a clever move it is for the left to take fascism from the left-wing column and suddenly move it into the right-wing column. This is a way to attach moral opprobrium to the right and give the left a kind of moral license to do whatever it wants as it fights against the evil and fights for the right. D'Souza points out that the protesters who have become infamous for threatening and carrying out violence to shut down conservative speakers on college campuses call themselves anti-fascists. It's a label, he said, that has become the basis of all the crazy stuff that they're doing. Now keep in mind, when you see these kids and these adults out on the street with the banners and they're saying the dumb things, you have to look at this cottage industry that's popped up in response to it. It's called the man on the street interview. More and more of them are taking place, and they are exposing these people for what they are. They are, at the very least, ignorant people. They don't know anything but what they've been told, but they believe it. Some of them are not even educated. They can't even put a sentence together. But they got their placard and they're out there screaming these words and holding up these signs and holding forth in some kind of... I saw one this past week where the kid wanted to get into a philosophical discussion with the guy at the microphone until the man asked him a question that he couldn't answer, and then he just walked away. The man had him. Put him in a chokehold, as it were. He had no answer. These people don't know what's going on. They've been cranked up. So D'Souza says that if you ask Intifada protesters, what gives you the right to stop people from speaking on campus? They say, oh, that's because we're fighting fascism. Or if you say to a bunch of Democrats, what gives you the right not to show up at a presidential inauguration, a president who won a lawful election? And they'll tell you, well, we don't want to normalize Trump in the same way the Germans should never have normalized Hitler in the 1930s. He said that even the investigation by Special Prosecutor Mueller into alleged collusion with Russia by the Trump campaign is, quote, based on the implicit rationale that we have to get rid of Trump by any means necessary. Now, in all of this, D'Souza describes the attempt to oust Trump as a coup. He says the coup is being carried out by an alliance of the Democratic Party. I hate that word. It's a Democrat party. There's nothing democratic about them. It's a Democrat party with the media and with Hollywood and with large parts of academia. He says the coup here is actually traveling under the passport that, quote, wouldn't it be justified to oust a Mussolini in the 1920s or a Hitler in the 30s, even if you had to do so on bogus premises? Think of all the catalysm that could have been averted. The German people failed, the Italian people failed, but we, the left in America, we're going to succeed. So he says, I think most of the Democrats know that what we're doing against Trump is abnormal behavior, but they think it's abnormal behavior that is warranted under the circumstances. I mean, the nonsense in that analysis, not that D'Souza's is nonsense, but the categorical nonsense that is compacted by all of these concepts is just off the chart. That people could be thinking this way. And I believe that's why, as we move forward, that we're finding more and more of the left's philosophy being marginalized. It's being pushed over here to the side. It's only a bunch of and keep in mind, it has been demonstrated that many, if not most, of these spontaneous demonstrations are from people who are being paid to be there. Paid to be there. We're being told that our former president is heading up an organization that has tens of thousands of dollars, $80,000, $100,000 collected to do just this sort of thing. That he is not leaving Washington, D.C. because he's going to stick around and he's going to run this program. And you probably will not see him on television speaking at rallies and doing this sort of overt work. But these people are not going quietly into the night. It's going to be a battle. And I honestly don't know anybody more suited to it than Donald J. Trump.